Hey guys, had somebody email me about the radiator that I used in this car, and it's fairly unique. CNR does quite a lot of very high-end radiators. They do a lot of cup car stuff. Some of the technology they use is a little bit different than the old standard, four-core radiator type stuff. So I just want to show you real quick the installation on this one and tell you a little bit about the CNR radiator. So a couple of things about this one that I selected from CNR. Obviously, it's an LS style radiator. On the upper hose portion, you can see there's a steam vent port. That's for the connection off the engine and the cylinder heads to relieve that pressure and help keep the heat under control. This one I ordered with or at the time, this kit came with two Spall fans, which are already mounted to the radiator. Kind of nice. Looking forward to using those. It's been a few years since I used Spall fans, and I always really liked them. On this radiator, I went ahead and went with the power steering cooler and the engine oil cooler, and those are both located on the left side or the driver's side of the radiator. This CNR radiator is a cross flow style, so it's got like a dual pass that goes through there. A lot of the old, ways of looking at a radiator is it's a 2-core or a 4-core, and obviously everybody wants the bigger 4-core radiator for, higher horsepower and bigger heat motors, big blocks, whatever. This is a 2-core radiator, and it's enough to probably take care of on this engine, probably 1,200 horsepower. Which generates a lot of heat, especially on this one's going to be a turbocharged application. The old school way of looking at things with, 4-core and all that kind of doesn't really mean anything anymore. And part of the reason is obviously the aluminum dissipates heat better, so that's why you see a lot of aftermarket radiators are aluminum. The old style brass and copper stuff dissipated heat really well. Aluminum just happens to do it better, and when you design the inside of these a little bit better to flow and to be a little bit stronger, it works out a little bit better. These radiators have, the old style radiator had typically 2 1-inch tubes per row that would run down through there. CNR is a little bit different in some of their higher horsepower radiators have up to 12 tubes that run down each row. So the volume's a little bit better. It actually ends up being a little bit stronger the way they reinforce those rows and reinforce the radiator as they're assembling in everything. So it's pretty slick how it works out. And like I say, it's the ability to handle a lot of horsepower and a lot of heat is the reason why I went with this one. So just a quick shot of the passenger side. You can see the steam vent port right there, and then I don't recall. I think those tubes are 1.5 inches on the radiator. Radiator hoses, I'll have to double check on that. I'll leave if there's a correction to that, I'll leave it down in the comments. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just a description of the radiator that they put on there, including the part number. I'll also go ahead and leave that down in the description so you can kind of take a look at that. But this one was designed size-wise to be for the 64, 67 Chevelle. Mounting wasn't too complicated on this one. It wasn't a direct bolt-in, so you have to kind of do your own thing. I just bought some spacers, bought some stainless hardware, and then positioned it on the core support where I wanted it, and just drilled some holes, went right through to mount it. I'll show you the front. So not overly complicated, but it's not a direct bolt-in. There's the radiator holes for the factory position right there that you can kind of see on the core support where I had to put those. And if you can see that down there at the bottom, if that's not too dark. And a little bit different on the driver's side. Some of those course board had to be massaged a little bit to get that bolt to lay flat, but it's where it ended up being, and that's where it goes. Anyway, this is the radiators that I chose, the CNR. Mainly because a couple reasons. One, obviously, it'll handle the power and the cooling side of it, but it's made in the U.S. It's not the parent company is from Australia, which to me is just the same as the U.S. as far as manufacturing standards. It's not made in China like some of the other really popular brands that are out there. Very good product. Obviously, given the understanding of what the stresses that the NASCAR teams put on these, and some of the folks I've talked to within that community say that's the CNR one's certainly bulletproof for them. So I'm sure everything I'm going to throw at this one's going to be completely bulletproof for me. Anyway, Chris, I hope that answered your question. And if you have anything else, obviously you can leave it down in the comments. Be more than happy to answer any questions on the radiator or the fans, mounting, whatever. So not too far down the road. I've got to build the hot side for this fairly quickly, build the cold side, and then start looking at connecting everything up with fans or the radiator hoses and lines and all that. So pretty soon we're going to get down and dirty on this one. So anyway, I appreciate it. Appreciate the question. It was a good one. I haven't really covered any of this yet. I was planning on doing it sometime down the road, but if you have any questions, you can certainly leave it in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to show you any of the stuff I'm working on. Appreciate it. Thanks.